It's Matt along with Goo, and today we're going to talk about Archfiend Valeria. Should you unfreeze your accounts for her, or should you just give her the cold shoulder? Stay tuned. All right, Archfiend Valeria. She's going to be our crackle expert, which is kind of a shame because crackle right now has not been the most used of the elements. She is by far going to be the strongest one. Her leadership effect is a little too specific right now. Bosses crackle attribute by 25%. Basically, right now, we have Soma and Valeria coming off the top of my head. I believe that also Bahamut is a question mark as well that has the breath as well. So that's three. And that's actually somewhat decent, but really, really specific right now. It'll be helpful when we get more overall. But so if you do have her and are using her, especially in PvP, that could be an incredibly useful skill here. Our first skill is Destructive Force. Speaking of PvP, real time especially, grants a minor regen, massively raises damage dealt for one turn. This is very useful on turn two because for Archfield Valeria, one of her intrinsic parts, and I'll explain more as it goes on, she will cast Crackle Force on herself on every odd turn from turn 1 up till turn 10. It lasts for 3 turns. So on turn 3, you get 2 Crackle Force, plus you get this massively rage damage dealt for 1 turn. And using that with her Winter's Moon or Frozen Flurry, because it's 130%. The Frozen Flurry is 130% crackle physical damage 3 times, and a 40% chance to occasionally lower crack resist, which is huge because if it lowers it early, it does even more damage. On top of that, Winter's Moon, which deals major unreflectables crack spell proportional to her attack to all enemies, and often greatly lowers self healing skills. So it lowers this is great against bosses, so PvE that can heal themselves back up. It will lower that amount. Um, Theoretically, it works on all those bosses. They may change it at some point. Some may become unstoppable with that, but as of right now, that is incredibly powered PvE, and also against other units that may have some self healing as well. Um, the Awakening skill, her first one is reduced damage 50% up to 3 times. Really, really useful. The third one is granted 20% more damage if HP is over 50%. And the fifth one, it gives her 5% HP and 4% MP each turn. Very good skill set overall. But her main issue is she is dominant by Crackle. If you are strong against Crackle, she is not scary at all. But let's just continue on. Her HP and MP are pretty good at 12, 16, 455. The attack and defense are fantastic at 572, 440, and her agility is insane at 545. Wisdom you don't care about, and she does have a movement of 3 as well with a weight of 65. Her weight is very correct, I would say. She has some great powers, but the main issue is that she is stuck in Crackle, which has limited uses in most fights. But if you do have her and the unit is weak against Crackle, she will absolutely excel. Even neutral Crackle, you can get the Crackle lower and do some better damage as well. Teachable skills, I was really debating here, but honestly, with her, if you're going to do anything, you're going to really want to use one of her 2 attacks if she can attack. It would be nice to teach her a buff or a debuff, another debuff, just to make her more well rounded. Oomph is just one example. You can also do any of the other buffs. Blunt, I think, is the key one that you want to focus on with her for a debuff, but any buff or debuff will work. preferred weapon is going to be Ice King Spear. Gives a crack attribute power to bosses, plus 5%. Has a plus 28% attack, or not percent, geez, 28 attack. Um, Obviously, that's built for her. There's not really anyone else that can truly use it to the full extreme. And you're saying, but you said Soma Bahamut, but they don't really care about attack like Valeria does. So this weapon is definitely made for her. Her pros, she has the strongest crack attacker in the game with her lowering HP recovery effect. She also will increase her own attack and defense on odd turns, enables crack force. And this is with AW0, so it's really, really good. Her only attacks are crackle, though. And will I pull? No, not very hard. Uh, right now, because she is so crackle force, she is barely in the high tier in Japan and being pushed away very, very quickly. If they made the newest hero week to crack, then I would have really changed everything else right now. I do really like her anti recovery effect. Um, I will try for her, but not as hard as I would if I wasn't so resource poor. Um, Part of the reason is Golden Girl. I kind of have a huge interest in. Got to keep this short. The only thing I really care about is her super thrust, which is she has large amount of physical damage to one enemy and a high chance to charm enemy. This is going to be your cheap method of doing a high chance of charming with her stats at 111, 1151 HP and 350 basically defense. It's actually quite useful with her stats. This is a great unit for charm. You're going to want to add an attack skill with her. She can also breath lock in case you're going against breathing units like Zenlon, as an example, who also kind of can, now that I think about it, can also use the 25% crackle, but not as hard as some of the other units. Um, or Bahamut, which is also kind of nice to kind of go as an anti breath unit and can be very useful in PvP because I know there's a lot of people that lean on Zenlon for their defenses. And that can kind of help counter that and has a pretty high chance of sealing that breath. And the Fifth Awakening gives a charm success by 5% as well. Um, so she is actually a pretty useful unit overall. But I hope you guys are excited. I do know that Lucia is definitely higher ranked than her. You should at least try for her first, unless if you desperately need Crackle. And even then, I'm not sure how much we actually need Crackle, but she is still a great unit. Basically, what I'm waiting for is the next really powerful unit to be weak to Crackle, for then Valeria to rise up in the standings. And that's going to be kind of the thing. It may never happen. It may happen in a month or in a week in Japan. We don't know. But because Crackle has been kind of ignored for weaknesses for counters and so forth, that's why she's rated low. Otherwise, she is a fantastic character and really, really useful for PvE. I hope you guys enjoy. Good luck, but more importantly,